and Assalamualaikum to seadanan and all. In this video, we will present about the three pillars of ASEAN Community 2050 as a platform to achieve ASEAN vision. Before that, I will introduce my group member. Nurul Ashikin, Nur Asma, Wanisha Nazatul Adawiyah, Ain Nur Atiyah, and me, Nurul Akilah. So, let's start!
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Ashikin binti Abdul Latif. My matric number 2019-424-534. So, we will discuss about three pillars of ASEAN Community 2015 as a platform to achieve ASEAN vision. So, the first section about introduction. What is development? Growth, advancement, economic, environmental, and social are examples of development. Growth aims to raise people's living standards and quality of life, while also creating or expanding local regional income and job possibilities while maintaining the environment's resource. The ASEAN Economic Community (AEC) is planned to finish ASEAN economic unification by 2015. The AEC blueprint was launched in 2012 to guide the development of the AEC 2015. It serves as a master plan by establishing a strategic timeline of key activities that ASEAN member states should follow. The AEC 2015 is based on the backs of four initiatives. Firstly, ASEAN's attempts to build a society that works as a shared market and manufacturing base, allowing products, services, saving, and skilled labor to flow freely inside the country and resources to flow more freely. Second, it wants to establish a high-growth economic zone. Third, it capitalized on the region's desire for more egalitarian and equitable AEC. And finally, it focused on developing and executing a consistent strategy to external economic relations, as well as enhancing participation in global supply chains. An ASEAN community is the achievement of ASEAN leaders' 8-year-old ambition of the regional organization reaching community status by 2015. At the 14th ASEAN Summit in Cham, Thailand, ASEAN leaders adopt the roadmap for an ASEAN community 2009 until 2015 as the primary text. ASEAN wants to create a community that is politically united, economically connected, and socially responsible. That's all from me, so we go through the next part. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aina Atiyah binti Wazaidi with the matric number of 2019-284-174. I am from the class KAM 1104D. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. As we all know, there are three pillars in the ASEAN community. And now I'm going to be furtherly explaining the background and the development of ASEAN Political Security Committee, or also known as APSC. Generally speaking, it is really important for one to understand that if one of the members in the ASEAN committee is unable to restore internal stability, the impact on others may be seen. Thus, it is really important for them to see eye to eye with each other and embracing each other and not use any kind of forceful or harshful tactics in order to ensure regional stability. To pursue deeper engagement and cooperation in between these ASEAN communities, and also in the effort to establish their goals and objectives, they need to have modus operandi. Relatively, the key here is to uphold a people-oriented ASEAN, no matter the gender, ethnicity, religion, language, nor cultural background. As it was mentioned in the blueprint, ASEAN should strive to promote and support gender mainstreaming, tolerance, respect for diversity, equality, and also mutual understanding. The blueprint also consists of 3 characteristics of ASEAN Political Security Community. The first characteristic is a rule-based community of shared value and norms. To understand this characteristic, it is very simple. If one understands that in order to create a strong regional organization, ASEAN must strengthen the fundamental principle and the values that is shared by each of these members. They need to aim to promote democracy, good governance, the rule of law, as well as to advance and protect human rights and fundamental freedoms. In a nutshell, cooperation in the development of politics and the promotion of good governance will assure region's resilience. The second characteristic put a focal point on the cohesive, peaceful, stable, resilient, and shared responsibility for comprehensive security. In short, this characteristic emphasizes that political and security stability in this region require all of the parties to take ownership of maintaining and enhancing this critical component of the region's stability. For example, we can see that ASEAN is very committed to do conflict prevention, preventive diplomacy, and post-war reconstruction. Lastly, the third characteristic of APIC is that a dynamic and outward-looking region in an increasingly integrated and interdependent world. It was suggested that the globe is shrinking and integration is spreading beyond the local neighborhood to what we know now as a new regionalism. Through this context, ASEAN is seeking to develop and maintaining good connection with international parties in order to preserve regional stabilities and also world peace. By encouraging this particular characteristic, not only ASEAN will be able to foster a feeling of community in its people, but they can also result in a vibrant and outward-looking region. They can also promote global peace and security in the global nations.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Asma binti Anwar, 2019217118. I would like to explain more about Asian Economic Community. This second pillar is called Asian Economic Community, or for summary, it called AEC. In 2014, ASEAN was Asia's third largest economy and the world's seventh largest economy. There are 4 characteristics. The first is to create a single market and manufacturing base. Second is to help in the creation of business-friendly and innovation supporting regional environment. And the last characteristic is to aim to achieve equitable economic development through innovative initiatives that encourage small and medium-sized businesses to participate in regional and global value chain. In this AEC, there are also 4 pillars such as single market and production base, free flow of communities, free flow of service, free flow of investment, free flow of money, and free movement of skilled labor are the 5 essential pillars of the first AEC pillar. Second pillar is competitive economy region. The AEC aims to promote culture of fair competition by establishing institutions and legislation that support the endeavor, such as consumer protection and intellectual property right protection. Next pillar is equitable economy development. Under this pillar, the Nation Businesses Incubator Network, which is promote business matching and development, includes 30 business incubator and innovation center, and the last pillar is integration into the global economy. The Regional Comprehensive Economy Partnership, or we call RCEP, a regional agreement encompassing Asian and its FTA partner, is currently being negotiated by Asian. FTA is summary from Free Trade Agreement.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Wanisha Nazatu Adawiyah binti Wan Zambari and my metric number is 2019427054 and I'm from the class KA110-4D. Next, we go to the third pillar, which is ASEAN Social Culture Community, also known as ASCC. ASCC envision a community where the people enjoy the benefits of being parts of ASEAN. The concerns of ASCC is the commitment to live the quality of life of its people through cooperative activities. The ASCC activities to aim open a world of opportunity to collective delivery and fully realize human development, and also geared towards the promotions of sustainable development. The ASCC activities also foster an ASEAN identity through intercultural understanding and mutual respect, and also to prepare the ASEAN community to face a new challenge in the future. The existence of ASEAN social culture community is about realizing the full potentials of ASEAN citizens. The first ASCC blueprint was developed on 20 November 2007 by the 12th ASEAN Summit that held in Singapore. As for the second ASCC Blueprint 2025 was adopted by ASEAN leader at 27th ASEAN Summit on 22 November 2015 in Kuala Lumpur. What is ASCC has been focused on? ASCC is focused on, firstly, committed participant and social responsible community for the benefit of ASEAN people. Secondly, a sustainable community that promotes social development and environmental protection. Thirdly, a dynamic and harmonious community that is aware and proud of its identity, culture and heritage. To achieve this, member states are cooperating on a wide range of areas, including culture and arts, information and media, education, and lastly, rural development and poverty eradication.
Over decades of its establishment, ASEAN no doubt has immensely flourished and shown great changes in many aspects. The introduction of ASEAN Political Security Committee, also known as APSC, has also shown a great significance in nurturing and persevering peace in Southeast Asia region. Despite those efforts are starting to fall into places, there are still few crucial aspects that need to be attained and unraveled. Before we dive into the issue of ASPC, we should firstly understand the achievement of three committees in ASEAN. Report has shown that Economic Committee and Secretarial Committee has respectively earned 92% and 82% of rating. However, Political and Security issue only managed to get 12% of rating. From such rating, it is wise for us to conclude that APSC is possessing a major hurdle in effort to construct its community. Okay, now let's dive into the issue of APSC. Okay, the current critical issue that is currently obstructing ASEAN from effectively deal with security concern is the territorial conflict in South China Sea. One could say that participation of China in such disagreement has raised concern about the possibility of violent war erupting. To put it in short, the conflict of maritime and territorial conflict is impossible to resolve without the willingness of every party to compromise, especially when China has consistently been disregarding to many documents and agreements. Now, please allow me to illustrate. China, being the strongest among all claimants, they have been boldly occupying some island in the respective area of South China Sea. They have also shown a great sign of aggression by evicting Vietnamese troops in 1974. Furthermore, in 2014, China has abruptly declared that the seas surrounding Natuna Island are theirs. And please note that historically, the island was primarily the source of issue between Indonesia and Vietnam. Subsequently, China's bold move have resulted Indonesia to amplify its defense mechanism in their part of natural province. You can say that this has consequently escalated the tension between ASEAN and China due to a China aggressive move. Furthermore, a year before that, in 2013, the Philippines basically challenged China's claim on the portion of the sea. The document argues that China has encroached Philippine rights to its exclusive economic areas and continental shelf. It includes various of China violations such like China's forces and interference in Philippine areas, the occupation of uninhabitable coral projection, as well as other illegal conducts. Finally, China has also taken a strong posture in its claim, successfully establishing paramilitary troops and rigidly enforcing its own maritime rules in the disputed areas. Despite signing the declaration on the conduct of parties in the South China Sea, China continue to breach the delegation requirement, such as populating previously uninhabitable reef, shoal, and also island. In a nutshell, we can say that all this expansion of military activity, infrastructural development in the region, and also other aggressive move made by China in the aspect of this particular territorial conflict in South China Sea is indeed a threat, and it is also a source of concern for the Southeast Asian region as a whole.
In October 2003, ASEAN resolved to build the AEC by 2020. However, in January 2007, it was pushed back to 2015. To achieve this for aim is difficult, but they have been achieved, and this is the obstacle or issue that AEC need to go through to make sure it achieve their own aims. Legislative and regulatory limit, as well as proper coordination of education across numerous national ministries and agencies, are all obstacles to implement this Asian economic community. Policymakers face a difficult task in selling the liberalization concept, commissioning and disseminating studies on the importance of economic integration, seeking discussion with the private sector and workers to recognize short-term losers and devising mechanisms to compensate losers through financial and technical assistance to enable firms to seek new business opportunities. No one monitor of the progress in the Asian economic community. Tariff preference under the FTA are rarely used. Some of the issues like ROO and certification as well as custom procedure are being addressed, whereas limit of production such as land, finance and trade labor are frequently difficult to get for international investors. And last issue is professional education and training at the national level is weak. So this need to be strengthened, especially English language, to make it easier to communicate with others.
Many of these issues, such as human capital development, social protection, pandemic response, humanitarian assistance, green job, and circular economy. All of these issues, we call it as a cross-sectoral in nature to manage both the cohesiveness of the pillar and also cross-sectoral issue. Two platforms have been developed. The first one is ASCC Council, supported by the senior official meeting on the ASCC. We call it as SOCA. The second one is the coordinating conference. We call it as SOCHCOM. The ASCC Council ensure that relevant decisions of the ASEAN Summit pertaining to the ASCC pillar are implemented. It also serves to enhance coherence and consistency in ASCC policies and oversee the implementations of ASCC blueprint. Last but not least, the ASCC also recognized that there is a need to bring the ASEAN process closer to the people in order to fully fulfill its objective of being people-centered. To achieve this, the ASCC department is producing a monthly magazine focusing on the work of the pillar. The ASCC magazine aims to be a platform which introduces key issues of importance to the people of ASEAN. Despite uncertainties and challenges posed by the COVID-19 outbreak, ASCC forged ahead in its effort to address the socio-economic impact of the pandemic and identify opportunity for revitalization of the ASEAN region post-pandemic. Thank you.
Okay, so now we talk about recommendation. Firstly, with voluntary contributions from member states, a dedicated fund for closing the development gap will be established. Agendas that are progressed in a timely manner yield great rewards. This is often challenging since member states' technical, regulatory, and financial systems are all different in terms of readiness. This strategy should be complemented by concrete steps to address capacity shortage in member states in order to improve their implementation capabilities. Okay, secondly, maintain AEC's inclusiveness and long-term viability. ASEAN should aim for more equitable, inclusive, and long-term growth. The goal of ASEAN economic integration is to improve people's lives by providing more equitable, inclusive, and long-term economic opportunities. The fundamental purpose of ASEAN economic integration, which is to close the development gap, must continue to be infused into tangible forms outside of the specific agenda. such as business and development.
To conclude, the Asian Community three pillars are surely audacious and ambitious. By 2050, their member states recognize the need for an integrated religious body. As a community actions, ASEAN must seek to act decisively and promptly, both internal and external, to address and resolve the difficulties of its members, as well as their people and their human rights breach. The Asian community must become a community people in which all people in the area has equal access to the chance of human development, justice, and the participations in the country government. In Asian progress and development of ASEAN and its people, Asian Community three pillars are the most significant area of actions, which are the community and political security, Asian economic community, and Asian social culture community. It's a consequence makes sense that human rights are relevant for the Asian community directly or indirectly, as these include the idea of non-discrimination, equality, justice, and human dignity. Integrations might start with the initial difficulties, but there are many changes at the end of the day, which every member state may benefit to the people action. The action will be a regulatory community with an Asia Charter in particular in place. As is now the case, member states have pledged to cooperate more closely together to resolve non-traditional safety challenges, such as piracy at sea, disaster management, transnational crime, and so on. Asian cooperation was largely promoted as effective in economic pillar. It's simpler for the member states to collaborate with each other in relation to the two pillars. As a result, when the AEC starts in 2015, economy may open up quickly as trade obstacles are removed, both tariff and non-tariff obstacles. To reach the objective of ASEAN's being a unified market and production basis, economic will be liberalized. That's all from us. Thank you for taking the time patiently and listen to what we had to say. I wish Seadenan and you all have a blessed day.